Good morning. Welcome to Quincy Fire Headquarters. I'm Fire Chief Joe Jackson. I want to thank you all very much for being with us this morning. This is the 21st anniversary of the attacks on our country. The saying attached to this day is never forget, so it's good to see year after year people coming out in numbers to support us. We appreciate it very much. Before we get started, I just want to thank very much Mayor Koch, Congressman Lynch, and Mother Olga for being part of our ceremony this year. Thank you very much. I'd like to recognize Council President DeBona, Councilor Liang, Councilor Mahoney, Councilor Andronico. I see State Representative Taki Chan, Senator Keenan. I see. So thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedules to be with us this morning. We appreciate it very much. Okay, Lieutenant Blight, want to tap out 555?
Reset. Oh!
That's good. It's going right back.
Order! Ah!
Thank you.
I would like to offer this song in honor of our firefighters who continue to give their life every day in many ways, small and big, to bring peace to the hearts of people who struggle and suffer, especially in times of need. This is my song, O God of all the nations, a song of peace for land of far and wide. This is my home, the country where my heart is. Here are my hopes, my dreams, my holy shrine. But other hearts in other lands are beating with hopes and dreams as true as high as mine. My country's skies are bluer than the ocean, and sunlight beams on clover, leaf, and pine. But other hands have sunlight too, and clover, and skies are everywhere as blue as mine. Oh, hear my song, you God of all the nations, a song of peace for their land and for mine. May truth and freedom come to every nation. May peace abound. Strife has raged so long that each might seek to love and build together a world united, righting every wrong. A world united in its hope for freedom, proclaiming peace together in one song. The firefighter's prayer. When I am called to duty, wherever flames may rage, give me strength to save a life. Whatever be its age, help me remember a little child before it's too late, or save an older person from the horror of that fact. Enable me to be alert and hear the weakest shout, and quickly and efficiently to put the fire out. I want to fill my calling and to give the best in me, to guard my every neighbor and protect their property. And if, according to God's will, I must answer death's call, bless with your protecting hand my family, one and all. Amen.
Relay on! Order on!
At this point, I'd like to ask our boss, Mayor Tom Cope, to come up and say a few words, please.
Thank you, Chief, Mother Olga, Congressman Lynch, my colleagues in government, the distinguished men of the Quincy Fire Department, and men and women of the Police Department with us this morning. Certainly gives me an honor and privilege to bring the greetings of the city as we remember, hard to believe, 21 years ago, the horrific acts of terrorism that struck our nation. And I do want to mention a couple of folks that passed away from Quincy during that horrific incident, I should say. Kevin Connors was somebody from Quincy who was working for a brokerage company. He was on the 84th floor of the South Tower. And Susan Mackey, maiden name McElhaney, a Wollaston girl, was in one of the planes that went into one of the towers. So when you think about almost 3,000 people, too, from Quincy, it's pretty remarkable. And I'm sure many of you have seen the remembrances that have been on television. National Geographic has done an incredible job of really memorializing a number of the stories that came out of that horrific day. The acts of bravery were just incredible. As we saw, as people trying to flee the building, emergency personnel, police and fire running into the building, evacuating people, and of course it becoming their sacred grave. Also have memories of the weeks that followed, the amount of young people that flocked to the recruiting stations, because at that point we were at war. And once again it showed this nation does the right thing, that our men and women wanted to serve and wanted to go after and hold responsible those people that did that to the innocent people in this country. The attack on our freedom is what it really was about. So I want to thank our firefighters and our police officers doing an incredible job each and every day for us, putting on the line, not knowing what they're going into, and many times, and doing an incredible job each and every day. They treat people with compassion, with dignity, and get the job done. So thank you for that. And let us also be mindful of those that continue to serve our nation, whether they're here at home or all kinds of locations all around the globe. And be mindful that if not our men and women in those locations around the globe, there'd be a lot more activity by the evil tyrants that run some of the nations of the world. So we're grateful for their service as they serve to keep the peace. So may St. Florian intercede for our firefighters each and every day. May St. Michael continue to intercede for our police officers each and every day. May God bless our first responders, and may God bless our veterans. At this time, I want to ask our friend, Congressman Lynch. He's been a true friend of the city in so many ways, and he's been in our corner for a number of terrific grants that have come to the city to help our police and fire departments with apparatus, with gear, to make the job that much safer. Congressman Lynch.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Mother Olga, thank you for your beautiful song and your prayer. Much needed and much appreciated. My colleagues in government, good to see you all. Senator Keenan, Representative Taki Chan, Speaker Mariano, Councilor DeBona, Councilor Mahoney, Councilor Liang, but not forgetting someone. Chief Jackson, Chief Keenan, members of our fire service and police department, thank you so much for the job that you do every day. I was actually elected on September 11, 2001. That was my arrival in Congress, and I choose to remember as the mayor alluded to, my dear friend. You take away from that day the heroism, the sacrifice that was made, the unspeakable courage of the men and women on that day. One of the first things when I arrived in Congress, I was assigned to the Oversight Committee. And our very first job, naturally, was to review the events of that day and the days leading up to the attacks. And one of the most stunning revelations for me was in committee listening to the radio transmissions of that day, beginning very, very early on until the North and South Towers collapsed. And one of the things that we were really stunned about was that during all of that, there was active communications going on between the firefighters as they arrived at the scene. some in the lobby of the South Tower, some in the lobby of the North Tower, getting their gear together. Many of them had, 75 or 100 pounds of gear that they were lugging up those stairs in the darkness, in the heat, in the smoke. And we listened during that rescue efforts as they would find civilians, and they would let their colleagues know, their brothers and sisters know, that they were sending people down out of the way. But I could not ignore the reality that just by the words they were using and the manner of their dialogue, that they knew that many of them were not coming out. And yet they moved on. They kept going up those stairs. And the last transmission, I'll never forget, was from the 82nd floor of the South Tower before that came down. 82nd floors. I don't know if you've ever tried to do something like that with 75 pounds on your back. It's heroic in the extreme. And yet they did that. And that's why we're here. That's why we're here. We lost 433 courageous firefighters. We lost 60 police officers who were step by step along with those firefighters, often working in teams. We lost 8 of our EMS personnel from the Port of New York, New Jersey. But it's not just about remembering their sacrifice. It's about acknowledging that these firefighters here, these police officers here, are duty bound. When that call came on September 11, 2001, those firefighters and police and EMS responded like these firefighters and these police will respond today if such a call came. So we want to give thanks for their willingness to put on that uniform and to serve us all and to protect us. And we are blessed in Quincy to have a mayor and a city council supported by a state legislature that is willing to fund and protect and train our police and fire, and that do render them the respect that they deserve by the service that they render to us all. I also remember how the country was changed on that day, and the focus changed, that we came together as Americans. There were no Democrats on September 12th. There were no Republicans on September 12th. We were one nation, together, bound in a common mission, both to heal and comfort the grieved, to honor the deceased, but also to seek vengeance on those who attacked our country. And I yearn for that unity and that sense of mission and shared sense of purpose that gripped us in the weeks and months and years after that. It changed my role as a member of Congress, as a member of the Oversight Committee. 18 trips to Iraq, 20 trips to Afghanistan. But basically to make sure that our sons and daughters in uniform had the equipment and the resources necessary to complete their mission successfully and to return home safely. And I'm deeply grateful. There were so many of our sons and daughters in Iraq and Afghanistan that heard the calling on that day, on September 11th. They made the decision. Some of them to re-up, some of them to go from reserve to active duty, others to come out of retirement and go into the reserve so that they might as well be part of our story and our response. And I'm so grateful to each of them for their willingness, because the reserve became active duty because of the repeat missions that they had to deploy to. The National Guard was very much on the front lines, so we thank them as well. There's no city in the country, I think, that honors its veterans and honors the history of this country, like the city of Quincy, the city of presidents. I'm so honored to be part of the Quincy delegation. I'm thankful that I can play a small part in what Quincy has been and what it is becoming each and every day under its great leadership. God bless you for being here. You know, there's a saying that says there's loyalty in the simple act of remembrance. And that's what we're doing here today, right? That's what we're doing here. We're remembering the sacrifice and the service of those who we lost on September 11th. But we're also honoring the current day service and sacrifice made by our fire personnel and police. Thank you for being here. Thank you for remembering it, and thank you for your loyalty to this day. May God bless the city of Quincy, and may God continue to bless these United States of America. Thank you.
Thank you, Congressman Lynch. Well, folks, that concludes our ceremony for this year. Thank you again for being with us this morning. We hope to see you all next year, and please join us inside on the main floor for some coffee and have something to eat with us, and thank you once again.
Detail, 2 Smith.